This is our FasTrack session, also known as beginner session. Hope everybody's having a terrific week, having good weight loss results. If you're not, get some help. You know, if you could have done this alone, you could have done it a long time ago. We need one another. We need the connection, the education, the support. There's never been more chaos. The Bible talks about the wheat being the tares being sown amongst the wheat, and that's what we've got. Who knows what to do these days? Who knows? My gosh, there's prescription drugs. There's 50 million diets. First three letters of the word diet spelled die. Anything you start with and don't stay with forever is a waste of your time. You tried it all. You get started on something that's working pretty good, and then you see an ad and you go, I'm going to go over there and try that. Maybe it'll be faster weight loss, and it never works. What we need is consistency, persistence, good program, practical, sustainable, fun. You could have already got this done. If we weren't program hopping, we could have already got this done. Is anybody in that boat where you've program hopped so much that you have all these false starts, it looks good, and then you hit a plateau and you quit, and then you jump to the next thing, bunch of false starts, never making any solid progress, lose it, gain it, lose it, gain it. And it's always something new that's fascinating our minds, like a squirrel trying to cross the road. Does that happen to anybody? Hey, Kathy, it happens. Don't beat yourself up. You're living in Sodom and Gomorrah. What we need is a practical, sustainable, and fun program. And you need to do what Lot's wife did not do. You need to leave that place. You need to leave it. Heaven has come. You need to leave that place and don't look back. Right? You know, usually in the church house, they say amen right there. All right, we'll get started. I'll quit being silly. So this is our beginner class. I'll be with you about 20 minutes this morning. And then 10:30, we'll go over to the huddle up for members only, answer any questions that our members may have. Keep praying for Sandy and Charles. I hope you're doing that along with them. They're going to lose 100 pounds in 12 weeks. That's the goal, and they're gonna crush it. They started with their detox this morning. They'll be with me again tomorrow publicly at 1 o'clock if you want to tune into that. This is our beginner session. We want you to make sure that you take these FasTrack lessons. Go into the FasTrack. You log into the website, go to your dashboard. In the dashboard, you'll see the FasTrack tab. This is where we're teaching from. Here's your FasTrack videos. So if you feel like today you're drinking water from a fire hydrant, I get it. We're throwing a lot at you. We're filling in all the nooks and the crannies of these videos right here. These videos do not take long to get through. You've got all of your resource materials here. Go through those lessons, take the test, pass the test, earn your FasTrack badge. This mammoth of a website, 20 years of information, it's meant for you to go through FasTrack first, take the test, pass the test, and earn the badge. That's where results really start, because we're starting on a faith foundation. And then on top of that faith foundation, we're adding good nutritional practices. Everything that we need will come from the local grocery store. We're teaching off this chart right here, the advanced combination chart. So far this way, every week, starting Monday, we take a new group or the same group, which I would love to see the same people every week, learning the fundamentals, learning by osmosis. But we take a new group Monday through Friday through the inner workings of FasTrack, and we explain why the system works. We don't believe in just giving you a fish so that you can eat for a day, but teaching you how to fish so you can do this for a lifetime. Here's your combination chart. We've been talking about your why. We talked about the shibboleth shield. We talked about having a perfect day. If you don't have access to those videos, get them from Lisa. Lisa's happy to send them to you. We're a ministry first and foremost. So you've got your red column combinations, your yellow column combinations, your blue column combinations. fast weight loss, good, really still fast. Yellow's pretty fast too. And then blue slows down. Let me say this before we get into this. Blue is your life-saving combination. Your life-saving combinations. The blue column. It's not the red. It's not the yellow. It doesn't take a lot to figure out that you can lose weight eating chicken and broccoli, does it, Miss Kathy? That's pretty obvious. You know, we eat chicken and broccoli, and we come in here, we get motivated, and we learn why. When I get done with these classes, I want to eat more chicken and broccoli because I know them chickens and them broccolis, I know that they get a lot of blood flow to my digestive system, and I know it's exercise on the plate, so I want to eat more chickens and broccoli. But I already knew that chickens and broccoli was good for me. How about you? Okay, so the blue column, that's the one that saved my life because that's how I learned how to eat my taters, how to eat my corns, how to eat my long grain brown rice, because sometimes I crave them. Does anybody else ever crave taters and corn? You might have went through one of those keto programs or low carb programs and you're like, carbs bad, but don't you always go back to them? In fact, they are a macronutrient given to us by God. And they have certain nutrients and micronutrients that proteins don't have, even though proteins are more important in my estimation. And they just taste really good. So we learn what the void replacements are for carbs. Like, you know, we still have pasta around here. We still have pasta. We just don't have the pasta we used to eat. We don't have that Mueller's pasta. Sally, who's a pro around here, has lost a ton of weight. Looks great. If you're new, you got to go check out Sally's photos. I'm enjoying my category 2 sourdough bread this morning. There's nothing you can't have. Somebody should shout right now if you love to eat. You can have anything you want to. Why am I talking this way? I don't know. I'm silly. I teach a lot of classes, and sometimes I like to be silly. I'll try to calm down. Lisa said I had my fiber gourmet pasta last night. Outstanding. I'm glad that you did. That works great. So we can have all kinds of carbohydrate. We're just going to learn how to have them. And in fact, we'll even learn replacements for carbohydrate that will allow us to lose body fat faster. Let me give you an example with our old pros here. We're talking about whole foods, though. If I want to lose weight faster, I can have long grain brown rice. It still has the germ, the bran, the endosperm is covered with the germ and the bran, so it's hard to break down, slower blood sugar elevation. I can have it. I can have a quarter of a cup with it with my chicken and my broccoli, right? Because it'll control the fat bus. But question, riced cauliflower, is that a good replacement? Yep. That's a good replacement, and we'll lose weight a lot faster. We won't even pull out a fat burning. Again, I know this is a beginner class, but do you want me to illustrate to you the difference to get some leverage on you? I think Cindy likes these too. Me and Cindy like to talk about it in this term. But we efficient business owners, so we like efficiency. See this fat? That's 5 pounds of fat, by the way. Look at that 5 pounds of hunk of chunk. Ooh. I lost 20 plus of these, gone off my tail, off my thighs, off my arms, off my back. I had the worst fat hanging, but I know that's politically incorrect, but I hated that Martin Love handle thing going on in the back where I didn't even have a crack. But anyway, I had one, but it looked like it went all the way up. But anyways, this is 5 pounds, 5 pounds of jiggly, itchy fat. Stored in here are 17,500 calories in 5 pounds of fat. And I've got to tap into those. That's all this is stored calories. It's another form of, just like when we die, our spirit don't die. It goes upward or downward. Okay? So energy transfers into something else, whether it be water turns into vapor, all these things. Energy never goes away. So when you consume the energy, it don't die inside of you. If you have too much energy and you don't expend it, it gets stuck here. And we can get it stuck here faster if we're provoking the fat bus. Our entire FasTrack system helps neutralize the fat bus. So we got this 5 pounds of fat. Now let's pretend that I am it's a big old fat model there. So I'm in neutral. I've got a Jeep. Anybody know how to drive a manual transmission? These young folks don't know how to drive one no more. Cindy does. I drive a Jeep, and it's kind of, the clutch is kind of sticky. And that's how it works when you're starting this program. You have a carb adapted metabolism. And we need to shift over to a fat adapted metabolism. And it takes time, it takes consistency, right, Shanice? I'll let Deanna and Sally vet that sourdough bread out there. So when you start operating in a calorie deficit and you're controlling insulin, it's like pushing in the clutch and you're shifting gears. Actually, you're downshifting. Carbs is high gear. Are y'all with me? Carbs is high gear, smooth running. Well, we want that Hemi. Y'all know, remember that commercial? It's a Hemi in them Dodge trucks. So we want to get the Hemi fired up, and we want to downshift. We want to get some torque going, some power going. So when I am in a calorie deficit and I eat chicken and broccoli, so I eat the chicken and I eat the broccoli, and it was cooked in MCT oil, or I grilled it or steamed it, whatever. All of a sudden, my body's like, oh my goodness, we got chicken and broccoli. And what am I going to do? I got to break the chicken and broccoli down. I got to get blood flow to my digestive system. If I pick up a dumbbell and I lift it and I do this, blood flow goes to my bicep. My bicep needs the blood flow in order to contract and lift and pull that weight. If I don't ever lift weights, what happens to my muscles? They atrophy and die, don't they? They begin to get smaller because I'm not getting blood flow there. What do you think your metabolism does? That's living tissue in there. It has to have blood flow. If you're eating processed stuff all the time, you ain't getting no blood flow. It's like your metabolism's sitting in a wheelchair. So here we go. So I ate the chicken and broccoli, and my body says, oh my goodness, we got to send the blood flow. We got to expend energy. And he's not giving us any energy. Chicken and broccoli is not that kind of energy. We got to break it down. So you eat the chicken and the broccoli, and then you put in the clutch, and then you do the shift, and boom, now you're burning the fat. You're using the calories. There's no fat bus. You've got it neutralized. Blood sugar's doing good. And boom, you're burning the booty. And it's coming off. Oh my, it's just a flaking off. By the way, fat don't come off in pounds. When you're losing pounds, that's water and glucose. When you're gaining pounds, that's water and glucose. Fat gains in ounces and you lose it in ounces. Everything else is a mirage. So I'm shifting and I'm burning fat around the clock. Okay. Now the next meal, I eat some fish and squash. I eat some fishes and squashes cooked the right way. And then I shift. I don't shift because I eat some fishes and squashes and I need blood flow to my digestive system. I didn't get any energy there. Everybody knows here that if you eat fishes and squashes cooked the right way, I ain't talking about Long John Silver's, you're not gaining no weight. You ain't never looked in the mirror and said, oh, I got to back away from the broiled fishes and squashes. You've never put on weight like that. You know that, but you didn't know this, okay? So you're burning fat and your body says, we still didn't get any efficient fuel source called carbohydrate. So we're going to have to use more calories to break the fishes and the squashes down. And you're exercising it on a plate. Now, the next meal, whenever that comes, you're like, I'm really craving some taters. I want some taters. And you say, I got some leftover fishes and squashes. And you eat the potato with the fishes and squashes on a portion control plate. And on your plate, it's 100 calories a tater. Now we got some energy. But because we eat the fishes and squashes, we don't get any fat bus. We don't get any insulin. So I'm burning fat, and my body goes, whoo, I got some taters. Now we can put the clutch in, and we could go into higher, more efficient gear, better economy, and your body goes, I'm pulling out of fat burning. Now, if we spike insulin, we're going to stay in neutral. Are y'all with me? But I didn't spike insulin. So I'm still in neutral or in high gear. I'm not burning fat anymore. But because I controlled insulin, as soon as my body uses up that tater in the next hour and a half, guess what's going to happen? We go right back into low gear. Got a Hemi. Does that make sense? So rather than just say, don't eat carbs, I like to explain it. Now you get to be the decision maker. How fast do you want to go? You can stay in red column and go super fast. You can move to yellow column, still pretty good. You can go to blue column, and you're going to slow down some. Now, the difference is if I eat that, now I can get back in fat burning eating in the right combination in an hour or two. But what happens if I eat the tater by itself?
You spike your insulin.
Yep. Now what happens? How long does it take to get back into EFB efficiently?
2 days.
Up to 2 days. Now, there's things that we can do to speed that up. There's things that we can do that we're not talking about that right now. We have to look at it like worst case scenario. Your body's got to use the glucose, and it will use it pretty rapidly because you didn't eat too much, but you have the insulin spike. And when you have an insulin spike, you cannot efficiently burn fat. You're on the highway and you're in high gear for 2 days. So knowing that, you can get a lot of leverage on yourself. Will you ever be able to eat carbohydrate by themselves in maintenance? Why couldn't you? As long as it's good carbs, you're not trying to lose weight anymore. It's not good to keep high levels of insulin in your bloodstream because it feeds cancer. It causes cancer growth. It causes all kind of inflammatory responses. Insulin was meant to be your body's short-term medication to get the blood sugar down. It was never meant for that's why we become insulin resistant. Number one, our BMI, our body mass index, is expanding. So it takes more and more insulin when we eat improperly, and your pancreas just cannot keep up. And as well, it's like any drug. What happens with alcohol? Do you build up, you have a glass of wine, and let's say when you were young, you had an alcoholic beverage, and one serving, you was like, woo, but you build up a tolerance to it. And then you need more and more and more, and you get in trouble. Same thing with this. Insulin's like a drug. You will become insulin resistant, pre-diabetic, type 2 diabetic, then full-on diabetic, if you have high levels of insulin all the time, because your cells have to become resistant to it because it's causing so many other issues when you have it at that kind of growth. You've got growth hormone raging through your system all the time. And it's worse for us as we age. Insulin becomes worse and worse. You become less tolerant of it as you age. So we have to be careful and eat in the right food combinations. There's nothing else that can mimic this program or a program like it. Not drugs, not anything. It works like nothing else because you're doing things the right way. You're becoming educated. These food combinations are more potent and powerful without the side effects than even prescription drugs. If you wear a continuous glucose monitor, you'll find out real fast how powerful this program is. Nothing lowers blood sugar or neutralizes insulin like powerful whole food combining. So as you're going through the system, you want to also, like Sandy and Charles, they're going to focus on red column. They want to go fast. But we'll just gain the weight back if we don't understand these blue columns. So what we do is we look category 3 carbohydrate. What am I craving? So if I'm craving corn, I go and find corn. Here's category 3. I can only have the category 3 corn in a combination where a 3 is listed. So like 723, that's shellfish, fibrous carb, and complex carbs. So I'm having our energy carbs. So I'm having shrimp, broccoli, and some corn, right? Kind of a little low country boil there with some Old Bay seasoning or whatnot. That's all there is to this. You want fruit? You go and look. Fruit's a category 5. Where's fruit? Oh, right here, 1, 2, 5. So I'm having a sandwich. I'm having a category 1 lean protein. So I'm having some boar's head London broil in my wrap, my Joseph's high fiber wrap, some condiments. So I got a 1 and a 2. The Joseph's wrap is a 2. And then for dessert, I have some watermelon. I have my approved hot dog and some watermelon. Don't eat too much. You still have to control your portion, but that's how we incorporate carbohydrate. And let's say that you're not feeling it today. How many holidays do we get? Get 6. 72 days a year to eat what you want until you get in ideal weight range. And by the way, you can go to theidealweight.com and determine your ideal weight range and shoot for that range. And now our partners and Faithfully Fit members, did you know that you have access? That you have access to, you can figure out what your not only your weight should be, but your protein requirement and some other pertinent information. And very soon you'll be able to do that with carbohydrate and fat too, and even click a button and get a meal plan that's the perfect macro meal plan for your goals. That's coming in days. Those of you testing it, thank you. The AI is learning rapidly. Good job. Questions or comments? Kathy asked if you're on an insulin pump, can you help me with that, Kathy? Just a little expansion there.
I was wondering if you were on an insulin pump. You're steadily getting insulin in, but you want to keep insulin away in order to stay in efficiency.
Yes.
So am I ever going to get any efficiency by continuously getting this insulin?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So do you have a continuous glucose monitor?
I do.
Okay. So on mine, I'm learning this stuff with y'all. Those of you that are struggling with this, first of all, let me say this. A diabetic, we have diabetics all the time that don't talk to me and they hear this and they leave. They're like, the enemy won. All thoughts are all lies all the time, y'all. So the enemy wins because, well, I have to have insulin so I can't lose weight. That's a lie. If you're a diabetic, you need this program more than anything else other than Jesus. You need it more than anything else because the less insulin that you have to have, the better your quality of life and longevity and mitochondrial function. Does that make sense so far, Miss Kathy? So you need it more because the lower we can keep your blood sugar or the more regulated, the less that pump has to send insulin, right? Less growth hormone, better. So like on mine, this continuous glucose monitor, I got this just to prove the efficacy of my program, our program, God's program, and to help our diabetic folks. So see that where my glucose is staying? Okay. So with you, like I've been experimenting. Look, mine's continuous and you'll see a spike soon. Boom. See that spike? So I went up to about 200. I did that after eating some carbohydrate. So when yours does that, your pump has to send a lot of insulin. You've got to get that down. My pancreas is sending the insulin. There's no difference between you and I other than my pancreas is producing it and you're getting it from an outside source. But the same thing happened. Now, I got it back down through right eating, just like you will, okay? Now, it takes about 2 days of consistency for me to get back in EFB. It's why now, look where I'm at, okay? So I still have insulin as a result of that spike. I'm not going to as efficiently burn the fat until a day or 2 later after the spike. It's why it's so important for you to eat this way. And what diabetics are told, I have several in my family, don't worry about it. If you eat this many carbs, you'll need this much insulin. Your pump is regulating that for you. So your pump's smart. It's more important for you to stay in the red and yellow column than anybody else here. Because after a day or two, as your body needs less insulin from that pump, you're going to be in a calorie deficit and be able to efficiently burn fat. My point here is there's no difference between your strategy and my strategy. No difference. You're just getting your insulin from a different source. Does that make sense?
It does. Thank you.
You're welcome. You keep
One other question.
going. Mm-hmm.
If it's giving me the insulin, I have a problem with a lot of sugar lows. Then what do I do for a sugar low? You
Good.
know, like now they tell me to eat the little sugar cube or drink
Yeah.
some orange juice or something, but then that's gonna send me back up there. What do I do?
If you get too low, you need to follow their advice because that's dangerous. But what I would try is either bio coffee, berries. Berries will work. There's a product called Rehydrate that works well. And you may get a little bit of an insulin spike. But again, if you're thinking not today, but over your week, month, and year, overall your insulin levels were lower, you're going to get a better result. What to do when you have to be on prednisone? The program. That's it. So what we get hung up on sometimes is we'll throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let's say that Kathy or Linda, they have limitations that I don't have. The mindset sometimes can be, well, since I can't lose it as fast as Travis, I'm not going to try. That's the wrong mindset. Y'all need it worse than I do. Y'all need food combining and portion control worse than I do. You still may have to deal with more growth hormone. You still have to be on your prednisone and you got some water retention from that. But that doesn't change the fact that you need to be eating correctly for better health and regeneration in the future. So we get all tore up about, well, I've got to be on prednisone. So we can still operate in a calorie deficit. And I'm not being mean, Linda, I'm just sharing with you. We still can be in a calorie deficit, control our portions. We can still pray and be faithful. We can eat in the right combinations, and you're still going to get a fabulous result. You got to stick with it. Anybody else? Ooh, I went overtime. All right, so I got to run to the members only session. If you got a text, you can jump over there with me. We can continue the discussion. If you're new here, this was lesson 4. If you need the other lessons, we're happy to provide them all. We go through the FasTrack each week, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. and become a member. And
Little hair dryer blow you away.
We need our partners and faithfully fit members. We appreciate you. We need you more than ever. Thank you for all you're doing. I'm going to go jump over another session. Quick prayer, out of here. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in the earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day, Lord, our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Amen. See y'all another session.